The following video is to share with you the initial process of purchase orders, where we will look at cost allocation. And finally, a sales transaction to verify that the initial product cost is being correctly applied. So, let's go to the purchasing module, go to import orders, and create our import order. Remember, we're going to do this in dollars so we can see how it really works. We assign the product. In this case, it's a test product. The quantities to import will be 10 in 1 unit. A price of $100 with no taxes, so we can clearly see the calculation. Initially, we can see that the system gives us the current or daily exchange rate. This calculation, based on the cost of these 10 units, we proceed to confirm the order. Upon confirming the order, the first thing we'll do is receive the product when it arrives. The product will generate an inventory entry movement, linking the product and the units where you simply click to validate. And from this, we can see an initial valuation that will show its cost, in this case in pesos, according to the exchange rate, because we know it's an order in dollars, and it tells us this will be for those 10 units. We go back to the order, and having completed this first step, we're going to make a sale to check the transfer of this initial cost to the final cost once the order is recalculated. So going back to the main dashboard, we go into sales, and we'll make a quotation for the product or a sales order for the product. Let's say we're going to sell a product for 10 million pesos without any kind of tax, just to see the movement. We continue by confirming the order, making the delivery, and validating the document that shows us the product and the unit to be dispatched. And we can initially see its valuation, and it will give us the valuation for 1 unit according to the record the product already has. Why? Because we already entered it initially into inventory with the purchase order. So we're going to have this shipment in this tab, which to finish, we're going to record the sale, confirm the document, and leave it there so that once the order is recalculated, we can come back and see that, in fact, this value or cost of the product changes. So having done this, we'll proceed to enter the costs that should appear in this first part of the import order in its import cost table. So let's check the account. In this example case, we've already recorded 2 invoices, so we can assign them, which are these 2 shipments we see here. Remember that we can assign them directly by selecting them from here. We go to the Actions option, Assign Import Order, or we can go into each one individually. Then we assign them to Import Order 53 so that the 100% value is applied. We relate them and see that it will notify us here that it's already linked. Then we go back to the order, and for it to show up here, we simply refresh the screen. Basically, now we've assigned the cost to this import order. Once it's assigned, we'll check that this new unit price appears both in the import receipt valuation, as well as in what we've done so far, which is the sale we just made. So, first we check in the product receipt in its valuation that in fact it still doesn't have the updated value, which means we need to carry out the recosting process. So we go back to the order. We unlock the order, which is still in transit, but it's locked because once the costs are linked, only the recosting should follow. So we unlock it, and immediately the recost option appears, where we'll proceed. And once that's done, it will be closed. Then we can validate the valuation from the receipt. And we'll see that the valuation has already changed. And in the same way, we can go to the sales shipments we've made, which is this one we find here, where the initial cost is this. We simply update, go back to the account entries, and we'll see that now it will take the correct value again. Then we wait for the import order, and at this point we can verify that, both before closing the order and after closing the order, in fact, making a sale takes its real cost until the import order is recosted. Alright, up to that point, we hope to provide clarity. Next, we will check other movements related to an imported product, regarding inventory movements and outputs, receptions in waste, manufacturing, and so on.